Today on Flavors of the Coast, Irv welcomes Executive Chef Bruce McAdoo for some favorites from the menu at Seagar's in Destin. They're starting off with savory potato-wrapped grouper, then tuna tartare, followed by Seagar's classic creme brulee for dessert. Special guest Bruce McAdoo joins Irv Miller, coming up on Flavors of the Coast. Support for Flavors of the Coast is provided by the staff and friends at the Floribama, America's last great roadhouse, overlooking the Gulf of Mexico from the Florida-Alabama state line and proud home of the Frank Brown International Songwriters Festival, the Floribama, celebrating 40 years of fun on the Gulf Coast. Gulf Breeze Natural Gas, keeping the promise of clean energy for the homes we have today and the world we want tomorrow. Gulf Breeze Natural Gas. Lamar Advertising Company, a leader in outdoor advertising since 1902. And by contributions to this PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you. Welcome to Flavors of the Coast, a culinary road trip along the shores of the Gulf of Mexico. From exciting searches for the freshest ingredients to exquisite preparations of the most savory and beautiful cuisine, we're exploring the finest flavors of the coast. Now, here's award-winning executive chef Irv Miller.
I've got Chef Bruce McAdoo here with me today. Hi, Bruce. Welcome to the studio.
Good morning.
And he's got some great dishes for you. He's from the Sandestin Hilton, Seagar's restaurant, and I'm just excited to have you here, Bruce. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
it. And I know you've got some great dishes, so why don't you tell them what we're going to get started on?
All right, today we're first starting off with a grouper dish. We're going to start off by slicing it on a French mandolin, which if you don't have one of these contraptions at home, they're about $150. You could do a shredded potato, or you could do something with a Chinese mandolin, or a cheese slicer. What we're going to do on this one, we're going to take a potato, we're going to slice it, probably about 9 slices.
So we're crusting the grouper, is that correct?
We are. We're actually going to wrap it with the potato. And I'm just going to
And that's a scary thing. Those things are razor sharp, so
they
really
are.
Be careful. And usually they have guards with those things, but I let you do it without.
Correct. I'm living on the wild side. I'm going to set this out of the way now. What we've done is we've sliced. This is going to be our final. This is where we're going with it. We're going to fry these pieces, the raw potato, at 200 degrees in a fryer. And basically, it's a pretty quick. I'm going to get this out of the way too. Pretty quick little thing here. We're going to drop these in.
So this is what you already have done, and
correct.
You sliced them and you blanched them, and this is what we're looking for.
This being a little bit smaller. All we're doing is activating the starches in these. Going to get them going real quick.
That was quick.
Just drain them.
Yeah, and I had talked to you earlier about were you going to slice the potatoes and put them in water, and of course you said no because, like you said, we were trying to get the starch is what keeps the potatoes together when you crust the grouper.
You're basically activating it, and then at the same time the oil from the fryer is going to help us. You're going to think you're going to have one giant, which you are, sort of a hodgepodge of potatoes here in a second. But the oil helps, I guess, them not stick together.
Sure.
Which will help for our final processes,
sure.
which is building this potato wrap.
And it's interesting also to note that they haven't changed color at all. They still look
just
as good as they did when you cut them.
Once you started this, you've pretty much taken out.
Sure.
At this point in the raw potato, your potato is going to oxidize, but once you blanch it here, you're not going to run into the oxidation process.
I understand.
So where we're going to go from there, we decided to use this format of a vessel, something that would lend itself to the home cook,
right.
So that they wouldn't be pulling something out they wouldn't have. This again is where we're looking to go. 3 across, 3 down, 9 pieces in total. Once you've done one, take another piece of plastic wrap it over, and do another one.
Layered.
So that way you can store 10 on here if you wanted to, layered with plastic wrap.
Great for a family of 4, or great for 2, or great for 1.
Dinner party in the kitchen if you want to.
There you go.
Real quick, we've got just a little.
Man, they are paper thin.
And basically with the oil, helps. They're a little warm when they come out of the fryer.
Sure.
So just be aware of that. As you can see the steam billowing. Like that. And at the same time, we're also going to be working into a beurre blanc that we've got going on. That if you want to,
sure, I'll tell them about that.
We've done so far.
Now, what I've done here, or actually it's for Bruce's dish, but we've taken some white wine, and then we're going to add, or I already have added, the wine and some diced shallots to it, and brought it up to a simmer, and then letting it reduce until it's almost dry to concentrate the flavor. And then I added a little bit of cream to it to actually thicken it up and make sure that we have a stable, what we call white butter sauce or a beurre blanc. And so now I'm at the stage, if you can actually look in the pan and see there, it's almost dry. And I'm going to go ahead and start adding my chunks of butter. And I'll just whisk those in on and off the heat until they're actually melted yet emulsified. And we're just going to make a beautiful sauce. And he's also got some diced red peppers, and maybe tell him about the peppers.
Yeah, real quick, just what we did before obviously coming on the show today, what we've done is we've taken a whole roasted red pepper. You can do this over an open flame is the best way, and you actually intentionally want to burn the exterior of the skin, which allows to pull off, and you'll peel this down, and you'll get what they basically known as a roasted red pepper. Now, you can also buy these canned if you want. I think you get a better flavor. The oils come out when you do it yourself, better flavor. And what we've done is we've taken it ahead of time, done that, chopped it up, and so what we're going to do is we're going to put this in with the beurre blanc that Irv's doing right now, and then we're going to, when the dish, for assembly-wise, we're going to pass it through a sieve, season a little lemon juice, and we're going to pass it through a sieve when we do the plate up.
Great.
With the grouper fillet, just to follow back on that, what you're going to do is take a little salt and pepper, season your fillet
So I'm going
here.
to add the peppers.
Correct, yes. Going to lay this in here. Basically with a plastic wrap, you just want to take it off, and you'll see that intentionally I wrapped another layer underneath that gives you the support, because if this was the only one right now, I'd be sort of
Sunken in. Yeah.
hurting for a little support here.
Yeah.
So it's important that you do that. Wrap over, pull back, then again.
It's kind of like wrapping sushi a little bit, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I got in a way, and you could do chicken in this format. You could do, it doesn't have to be fish, you know, sort of an involtini Italian roulade.
Sure.
But it's a great dish.
Well, you guys at Cigars, you guys are basically like a world famous steakhouse, when you say, or a chop house.
Yeah, we that's what our goal is. We start off with some. We brought some beef along. I brought some beef along today. Some cuts that we use at the steakhouse. We get all our beef right now currently from Chicago. It's all prime beef.
Right.
And again, we've got a 22 ounce bone-in ribeye here.
Gorgeous. Absolutely
some
gorgeous.
prime fillets, 10 ounce prime fillets, an 18 ounce New York strip, and then a nice little 28 ounce porterhouse
Beautiful
right there.
cuts of meat. The best.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Back to the grouper real quick. What we've done here is we've wrapped it with this. When you go into the oil when you're cooking it, again, you want to season. The oil should be.
It's
pretty
It's hot.
You want to be careful, obviously, in using oil in the kitchen. We're going to lay this in. When you flip away with this, which, just in case we get sidetracked, you always want to flip away from me with the hot oil. You'll have a tendency, you'll see people, and it's happening in the kitchen. They'll be cooking, they'll flop it towards them, and all that oil splat up on the hands. So you got to be careful.
That's a good thing to know.
That I'm going to get this stuff
And
out of
you
the
got
way.
like a panne going here. You've got enough oil there that you're actually up on the fish quite a bit, which is probably necessary for crusting like you're doing. So what we've got one here that we did a little bit earlier, and we're going to go ahead and show you how to plate that.
We'll wilt the spinach real quick. We've got a little spinach here to wilt, just real quick. Brought some extra virgin olive oil. Pan he had on the grill, so it shouldn't take too long, just to wilt. We'll get that hot.
Should be
hot.
Should be hot.
That's cooking. Now on this, you just want a medium heat. Again, move it. We use the Teflon for the first presentation. I always find Teflon's great for the inexperienced cook, because you don't have to worry about it sticking. It's really sort of mistake-free. With the starches, again, if you use the wrong pan, you can get it sticking once this comes apart. So we've got this heating back up. I think we can probably go with our...
Sure.
Let's see how we're...
It's pretty close.
Yeah, there we go. I'll give you
Actually, those tongs, that'd be great.
Come in handy.
And you could put garlic or shallots in here, whatever else you want to do. We're just doing a
balsamic.
okay.
Yeah, we've got a little
quick
lemon.
wilt.
Yep. Just really to sort of lightly. You don't want to cook all the flavor out. A little salt.
Okay.
We can just finish with a little knob of butter.
And we're ready to plate.
Yep. Boom. Out of the way. that, I'm going to sneak behind you.
Sure. I'm going to put a little salt and pepper in this too.
Great. I'm going to skip use the top part this time.
Okay.
Set this here. Move that out of your way.
And I'll let you portion it up the way you'd like to.
All right. Basically, we just got the wilted spinach. Spinach has a little bit of, just try to get rid of some of the liquid, because again, it'll mess up with your sauce. Plate presentations, really, each to their own, how you want to do it. Step behind you here.
Sure.
With the grouper, you can either, I would probably do the sauce first. Let's do the sauce so we don't hit on top of the...
I'll let you hold it.
There you go.
You can see the texture of this sauce. It's so velvety and buttery. It's beautiful. You tell me when to stop.
Okay. Have a little
push it through if you want.
There you go. Thank you. That'd be just great. And
nice.
Less is more. There we go. Boom. All right, and then we're just going to plate real quick. Again, as you can see, this is a dish that doesn't lend itself to holding too long. Try to show some of the green. Move it out of the way.
Look how beautiful that is.
We've got some chives here.
You can see it didn't take very long to brown it.
No, and it's something that you don't want to hold long. You can see a little of the water coming out here, but that's basically our first dish here today.
That's great. That's awesome, Bruce. And when
out.
we come back, we've got 2 more dishes from Chef Bruce.
Executive Chef Bruce McAdoo trained at a French cooking school in Europe and apprenticed at the renowned Michelin restaurant in England before returning home to the Gulf Coast area. He continues to practice his specialty of French cuisine as much as possible at Seagar's, well known to fine dining patrons for their prime steaks, seafood, and Maine lobsters. The restaurant embodies relaxed elegance with its rich interior, a showcase walk-in humidor, and of course, the delicious continental menu.
We're back with Chef Bruce McAdoo from Seagar's restaurant in Sandestin, and he's got some great stuff here. He's got a tuna tartare and a creme brulee, and he's even been so gracious to throw on one of his huge steaks from Seagar's, and that's going to cook away, and I'm looking forward to tasting that in a little bit.
Excellent.
But go ahead, Bruce, tell us what you got.
All right, first of all, I'm going to start with some of the stuff we're going to be using today. Got sriracha, which is like a Vietnamese chili paste or a pimento sauce. A little wasabi powder, which is like a Japanese horseradish. Some wonton skins, which we're going to fry some up. We've got some here that you can find. Most of these things you can find at your local Asian grocery store or market. Microgreens, you can find some in Publix, stuff like that. I've taken the liberty today on the flavorsofthecoast.org website. You'll find the recipe for the ginger soy dressing that we're going to be using today, which has some cilantro, green onions, ginger, garlic, sesame oil, soy sauce, a little bit of everything in it. And then also the wasabi cream, what I've done is I've taken a little bit of half and half, taken the powder, which it is in a powder form, incorporated the powder, equal amounts of half and half, and also sour cream, and then get it to a piping consistency, which I'll show you when I'm plating up.
Great.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off, we've got the tuna here.
And it's a beautiful, is that a #1 tuna?
That is a #1.
It's gorgeous. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me just move those, but it is beautiful.
Basically the wontons, fryer, 350. Basically we're looking about 3 per dish, and it's sort of like a, almost like nachos for a salsa, if you want to say, with this tuna dish that we're doing here. That'll be enough.
Makes it a lot of fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's stimulating. I think this is a very visually appealing dish. We're going to keep an eye on these. Then I'm going to start cooking cutting the
If you don't need that, I'll go ahead and take that.
By all means.
Okay.
All right, while those are cooking, I'm going to take our tuna here. I've put the gloves on just for a little